What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting video. Now I know I always say that, but one of my subscribers actually recommended this video idea and I thought it was such a good idea and very timely with the new start of October, my favorite month. Who else loves fall? Comment down below. As you saw in the title, I wanted to talk about how I plan out my workouts, my monthly to-dos, my weekly to-dos, how I do my to-do list. I'm just here to help you get your life organized, your workouts organized, and just to feel less anxiety about the upcoming months and the upcoming weeks. I wanted to start with a monthly reset for you guys because it is October. Am I the only person that when it turns October 3rd, I immediately think of the Mean Girl reference?
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
It's October 3rd.
Literally every time, I don't know why. If you're like a 90s kid, you know. Every month, I love to go up to my calendar and wipe the thing clean and start over. You know what they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I truly live my life by that motto. With that being said, let's get right into the topic of today's video. So I brought you over to the planning section of my room. My underwear may be in this drawer right here, but this is where the exciting, magical stuff happens. One of my favorite things to do every single month is to come over to this calendar right here and just erase it and start a fresh month. I love this calendar. I actually got this calendar from Mart. It was literally like $9.99. So if you're struggling to keep your life together, I highly recommend having some sort of visual to kind of see everything that you need to do. I don't write my daily to-dos down on this calendar. It's mostly just the events that I need to be attending for the month. And I also write down what workouts that I do every single day in here just to kind of keep track of how active I am. And I'll show you guys how I do that. It's for my personal life and my business life. I find that that works best for me. Having two separate calendars was too stressful. I just like to keep everything in the same place. So I have different things on here, like when my credit card bill is due, when I have to be somewhere, when I have a dinner for my personal life, or if I have an event for my business that I have to go to, and I just have like random things like when my Spotify bill is due, when I need to pick up my prescriptions. I also keep track of my workouts on here. It just kind of helps me keep track of how active I am. And at the end of the month, I love looking at this calendar and just kind of seeing what workouts I did, how many rest days I took, and it just kind of helps me keep track of staying active. All right, I'm bringing this thing a little bit closer. Another thing that I do when it comes to this calendar is I write down my short-term goals. I think I read this quote somewhere that said you're like 10 times more likely to achieve a goal if you simply just write it down. So whatever my goals are and what my intentions are for the month of October, I write it right here on my calendar. I wrote that I wanted to make it to 180 subs on YouTube because as you guys know, I've been growing on here since December of last year. So if you are loving this content, please don't forget to give it a giant thumbs up and subscribe and tick that notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload. It is free. All right, enough with the plugging. I also wrote down some other goals of wanting to finalize my prototype because as you guys know, I'm working on a sports bra. And then I wrote down that I wanted to establish some sort of income by the end of the month because if you guys keep up my weekly vlogs, I just made an entire video, which I will link right here, about how I was just feeling kind of stuck and how I've been unemployed for a year and a half, even with starting a business, because if you didn't know, startups are expensive, they are a struggle, and they don't pay very well. So yeah, with being 25, I just felt like I needed to establish some sort of income. So that is one of my goals for the month. So whatever your short-term goals are, write them down somewhere where you can see them. It doesn't have to be on your calendar. That's just what works for me. You can write it on a to-do list. You can write it on a piece of paper, in a notebook, on your notepad, on your phone. I have the iPhone, so I absolutely love using the Notes app for literally everything related to my personal and work life. So that helps me too. And that's kind of what I love using my calendar for. All right, we're gonna exit the planning and undies section of my room and we're moving into the vision board area. I just feel like when it comes to planning out your life, it just makes me feel so much more in line with my vision and what I want my life to be like if I just have it written down somewhere. So at the beginning of every single year in January, I print off a bunch of pictures off of Pinterest that inspire me. This isn't necessarily related to planning, more so visualization, but hang in there with me because I do think it helps plan a little bit. So I wrote down here that I wanted to work out 3 to 5 days per week. I have been successful the entire year doing that. I wrote down that I wanted to make plans to move out. Yeah, gonna be honest, that hasn't happened yet at all, but it's okay. You know what? I love it being at home. I just thought I'd be moved out a little bit sooner. I digress. And then I just wrote down that I wanted to finalize my prototype and I wanted to post weekly on YouTube, and I have been successful with that. Vision board is for yearly planning, not necessarily weekly or monthly planning. And I think it's just nice to have this vision board in my room in visual for me to see every night before I go to bed. I take a look at my vision board and I ask myself, is the activities and the way that I spent my time today in line with the person that I want to become? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. It's really easy to plan and it's a lot harder to execute, but as long as you are working towards some of your goals, I think that that's what's important. I read this quote one time that said, you underestimate what you can get done in a year and overestimate what you can get done in a day. And I truly believe that, so don't be too hard on yourself. I also like having a vision board because I feel like it's a nice reminder when life gets hard and it feels like I can't reach my goals that this is what I'm working towards. And even though sometimes it feels like I'm never gonna make it, I know in my heart that if I continue to work towards things that are important to me and the life that I want, that eventually I will get there. All right, with that being said, let's get into how I plan my workout routine. I'm assuming if you sub to my channel or you follow along with my journey, you would know that I am a health and fitness gal. I absolutely preach about living a healthy and balanced life. It is something that has brought so much joy and so much happiness. Working out has just been a huge impact on my life. So I was much more rigorous about this when I first started my workout routine a couple years back because I had a goal of what I wanted my physique to look like. But I've talked about how as I've continued throughout my fitness journey, it's become less so about what my physique looks like and more so about how I feel. I move my body because it makes me feel like the best version of myself. When I first started planning out my workout routine, I knew what workouts I was doing for the next 3 months, on what day, and when I was taking a rest day. Split training is kind of how I still train, but I don't necessarily do it that rigorously. Now that health and fitness has become more of a lifestyle, it has become very natural for me. So I wake up every morning and I ask myself, what workout do I feel like doing today? But the caveat of that is I do not show up to the gym without a plan. Know what you're doing before you show up to the gym. So I have this little book here. I pretty much have written down a bunch of workouts that I know that work for me, that I enjoy. Some of them I got from my ADD Obsession program. Some of them are made up my own. So I don't necessarily know what split I'm doing on each day, whether that's booty or legs or arms, but I do know what exercises that I will be doing, how many reps I will be doing, how many rounds I will be doing, about how long it'll take me. I'm a big fan of the 30 to 45 minute workout. I am a busy gal, so going to the gym for an hour and a half is just not productive. I just find that 30 to 45 minutes is that sweet spot. Maybe if you're in the very beginning of your fitness journey, I would recommend purchasing an app or a subscription. If you need some serious help with your workout routine, I would highly recommend having some sort of guidance from people that know better than you. If you're just not really into that and maybe you just want to go on runs or walks or go to the stairs like I love doing, that's totally fine too. But if you're looking to get actual physical results in your fitness journey, I highly recommend showing up the plan. I just know it can be super overwhelming, especially if you're in the beginning of a fitness journey, to try to figure out what the heck you are doing in the gym. So always show up to the gym with a plan. If you don't have the money to purchase a subscription, or maybe you want a little bit more education for free, there is a million different things on YouTube that you can search. I also personally loved going onto Pinterest and just finding some moves that I found to be interesting and creating my own workouts. All right, let's get on to weekly to-dos and daily to-dos. For my weekly to-dos, I'm gonna be honest, I live by my Apple Calendar. Whatever my Apple Calendar says on my phone, that is what I do, and I also double check with the calendar that I have in my room that I showed you guys too. But in terms of daily to-dos, if there's anything that I've learned that I would recommend is if you are a busy gal, I highly recommend having a to-do list written the night before you actually live that day out. That was like a lifesaver for me when I was in my MBA program and everything was super busy. Now that I have a little bit more time flexibility because I am kind of in a weird waiting period in my life right now, I less so depend on to-do lists, but when things get busy, the first thing I do is knock out my to-do list on this Seize the Day notebook. It inspires me, it helps me, and it helps me keep my life managed. Here's how I do my to-do list. So I have this Seize the Day notebook and I basically brain dump everything that I think that I need to get done, and I just find this to be most helpful. Some people do weekly to-dos and then daily to-dos, so they'll write down what they have to do for the entire week and then what they have to do day by day. For me, the thing that works the best is just sitting down for 5 minutes the night before the day actually happens and writing down what I have to do that day, and then having a general idea of what I'm doing hour by hour. Today, October 4th, 2021, I wanted to accomplish getting a workout in, filming this video, walking my puppy Roni, researching some jobs, and also cook dinner. It feels amazing to check something off my to-do list. I absolutely love doing that. If that doesn't work for you and you don't want to think about things before the day actually happens, I recommend after you have coffee and after you have breakfast, just spending 5 minutes sitting down, gathering your thoughts, and figuring out how you want to spend your day and how you're going to be intentional with it. Lastly, you know that life can get stressful, and one thing that I try to implement into my life every single week is a Sunday reset day. Some days that's Saturday, some days it's Sunday, it just kind of depends, but I generally try to shoot for the weekend to get this done. My reset day includes planning out my week, so I write down what content I want to plan, what my work week looks like. It's different every single week for me. Some weeks it's, hey, I'm gonna spend the entire day going on a bike ride and spending some time with my family. Other weeks it's, hey, I'm gonna listen to a podcast and go on a long walk by myself. Other weeks it's, hey, I'm literally gonna binge watch some YouTube vlogs for the next couple hours for my mental health. Other weeks it's, hey, I'm going to do a face mask, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna get some journaling done, I'm gonna get some reading done. I find that just scheduling some time with myself helps me just feel so much more grounded and planned out for the week because I've taken some time to just kind of be with my own thoughts. So I would encourage you guys, if you are in a really stressful period of your life, to spend even an hour once a week with yourself in whatever way that is true to you. For me, I love reading, I love journaling, I love coffee dates, I love exercising and bike rides and writing and just being creative. That is what brings me happiness. So I would encourage you, when it comes to just planning out your week, to plan some self-care in there too, because I feel like we over-idolize what it means to be productive. I don't want to be that person that puts my identity into being productive, and I just find that being very intentional about taking care of my mental health and taking care of my body has just helped me be a better person overall. So I highly recommend having some sort of routine in there that makes you feel good about yourself, that makes you happy, that makes you feel more grounded, because it's gonna make you a better person. A little bit of life advice that I wanted to throw in there too. You can put so much effort into planning, into organizing, cleaning, into just having your life together, but at the end of the day, nothing is ever gonna go as planned 99% of the time, and planning is only half the battle. You also have to execute, and that is something that I feel like I learned the hard way. There were so many times in my life when I was younger that I said, I want to be this and I want to do this, and finally, I think I was like in 10th grade, my sister said, then why don't you go out and freaking do it? And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And I don't know what was so revolutionary about that conversation. It was just a huge eye-opener at that time to realize that I was talking and I was planning, but I wasn't actually committing and taking action and putting in the work to create whatever life that I wanted. And after that realization, I feel like my life completely turned around. If you guys keep up with my journey, you would know that I graduated college debt-free. I have an MBA, so 2 degrees. I also have my own startup company. I also have a real estate license. So I feel like for 24 years old, I've actually done a lot. So please don't be hard on yourself. Execute on whatever plan that you make and understand that it takes time to create your dreams into a reality, whether it's passing that class or getting that degree or getting your dream job, or maybe it's something as simple as finally finishing your yoga class. So I hope that you found this video inspiring, and I hope it just gave you a little bit of a hope of what you are capable of accomplishing when you put your mind to something. With that being said, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up right here. Did you guys enjoy this kind of sit down chat type of video? I always try to add in weekly vlogs because I love seeing the behind the scenes of people's lives, and that's gonna be something that I continue to implement into my business and into my life because I love just connecting with you guys. But I also think it's important to kind of sit down and just have a really real authentic chat with you and get to know you a little bit better. So if you enjoyed it, please comment down below and let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up like I already said before, and I will see you next week for another weekly vlog. Bye!